Hello, 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 and welcome back to the RuCap here on RHAP. We Know Reality TV. We're going to be breaking down season 18, episode 3 this week. I'm Beth Dixon, and one of your co-hosts, and I'm so excited to be joined by Aman Adwin as per usual. Aman, how are you doing this week, and what are your overall thoughts so far of this season?
I'm great. I'm super happy to be back. I really like RDR Live. I'm glad that it's become a staple maxi challenge for the show. Fun fact, when I was like a young lad and I was like deep into like performance art and wanting to be in show business, there were like 2 shows back in middle school that I was like, I need to be on the show. It was Law and Order SVU, and the other one was Saturday Night Live.
And one you need to get on before you can get on the other if you are in New York City, and that is SVU before.
Yeah, exactly. It was like if you are a young struggling actor and you haven't been on SNL or SVU yet, what are you doing, right?
No,
So like,
seriously. I feel like there's not a single Broadway actor that hasn't been on any of the Law and Orders or anything like that.
Even if it's just playing a dead body, you were on that bitch.
You know what? I could totally see this for you, Aman. Someone going, you know what? That corpse had energy.
Yes.
Let's make sure that we put them on SNL.
I know he was dead, but he was living.
Yeah.
Yes. And speaking of those that make us live, we are so excited to be joined this week by our special guest host that you just heard her voice. We have our patron and drag queen extraordinaire, Sugar Free, joining us this week. Sugar Free, how are you doing?
I'm doing so lovely. Thank you so much for having me back again. It feels so lovely to talk about Drag Race Season 18. I love RDR2. I was just thinking, we haven't had a challenge become a staple in the later seasons of Drag Race like we used to back in the day. So it's actually kind of fun to be like, oh, we're doing this again for the 4th time. Great.
Yes.
This is a thing now.
And thank you for joining us, because I know you're from the West Coast, so it's a little earlier for you than it is for us. So
it's not too bad.
I want to point out, like, yes, we're recording this around noon on Sunday, so 9 a.m. in the morning for Sugar Free, which, by the way, I would not have been up at 9 a.m.
I was definitely not this morning. Nope.
No, I was not. I was sleeping. So all the thanks in the world for you getting up and joining us. Now, what are your thoughts so far, Sugar Free, on this cast and what you're seeing? You've probably been tuning in the past couple of weeks and hearing, or I hope you have been. If you haven't been, don't say, keep that to yourself.
I have been. Mari was excellent. I miss Liana, but
okay, and that's great. That's all you really need to know.
And that's my 2 talking points about the last 2 weeks. No, I do like this season so far. It feels fresh in the sense that there's not truly. Like, I feel like the last couple of seasons, you have, like, the Zafira and Nymphia. Pow, pow, pow. They fight till the end. And season 17, it was Anya and...
Sam Star,
Jules. I was going to say, though, but I was like, well, no one was really edited to be Anya's, like, true feud throughout the season. But this season, it genuinely feels like it's way more of an even playing field. Everyone's a little rough around the edges in some place, but everyone's earnestly trying. No one's really like freaking out and getting in their head and then letting that affect the challenge like we've seen in former years prior. I like that everyone has some spunk and they want to try something. That's all I can hope for.
So, not to put you on the spot here, Sugar Free, but I do have a question for you. Now, you are somebody who has been doing drag for a while as well. How many years of drag have you been doing?
It's 6 years since last September.
6 years.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So like almost 6.5 years at this point.
Basically.
So that is incredible. So what I enjoy the most about this is, yes, we talk about it being quote unquote older queens, which again, I'm taking a lot of offense as I get older, quote unquote. I'm 37 and I'm like, okay, hold on. Come on, not old yet. But I really think that having queens with 5, 10, 15 years experience makes a huge difference than queens that have maybe been bedroom queens. Sorry, as I smack my mic. Maybe been bedroom queens in or Instagram queens or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that, but maybe only have a couple years experience or have only been in front of audiences live a couple of times. What do you think is the difference between having a cast that has that kind of level experience as someone who is a drag queen yourself, who has had various different kinds of drag experiences?
That is a great question. And I'm going to answer this based off of my experience of like working with many different levels of experienced drag entertainers, like side by side in casts. Because the thing about veterans is they're fine. And I don't know how to explain it, but like they don't give a fuck what happens to them on this show when they get off of it. Athena is going to be booked every day for the rest of her life. So her annoyances are day to day. She's not actually stressing that much about like what happens here, I don't think.
Yeah.
So when you get all these fresh baby queens on a cast, usually this is their first real big opportunity. They probably haven't gotten that big cast show in their respective city yet. So this is their Mickeys in West Hollywood, and it terrifies them. What you get out of veterans is the experience just makes you feel less nervous about every tiny little thing. So maybe they haven't acted before, but they have been performing in clubs for 10 years. You'll be fine.
Totally.
Someone like Darlene, for instance, who has been doing drag for, it sounds like, about a decade.
Yeah.
And was performing out in clubs for many years, maybe retracted to her bedroom as of the last few years. I'm quite similar. I don't want to stay out till 2 a.m. in full drag anymore. I love myself. Sorry. I just do.
Okay, hold on. It's statements like that I'm starting to go, maybe we are older. Hold on.
Yeah. Wait. How about you? I'm feeling 32. Like
I'm feeling 42. I want to be home in my pajamas by 10 o'clock for sure. But no, that's so funny.
But the real veteran queens that are like 40 plus that are working the same weekend brunch, 8 shows a weekend, those are the ones that should be doing Drag Race. I'm sorry.
No, for sure. And I think that that's a really good perspective to have. And it's 1,000% the way I, as a non-drag artist myself, am viewing people on this show. I feel like they're really, you take someone like Darlene, I genuinely think she's having a good time. You know?
Yeah.
You take someone like Juicy, who I think the edit is trying to make us feel like she's just this young, helpless, can't really do much, but she's on because she's beautiful and she has a good aesthetic, and her drag mom and grandmother / mom are both. No. Like, Juicy has a lot of raw talent. I also didn't realize that Juicy was on So You Think You Can Dance, or at least auditioned for it. I don't know how they did.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard someone talking about this recently, and they were like, "Oh, I saw the tape. It was crazy." It was
I haven't watched the full tape. I just saw that there was like a clip of her getting ready and talking about how being a drag dancer means not just bringing your body, but another person with you. And like that's, and the way she talked about drag for So You Think You Could Dance, I was like, this is so measured and beautiful, and such a great way to bring drag to other mainstream areas, especially in a time where, you know, that's not exactly where a lot of other mainstream places want to go.
Yeah.
So
I really do think that it's a great show of confidence and not desperation from a production standpoint by casting older queens, because I do think, you know, it's so, I always think about the infamous, famous quote that RuPaul had a few years back and saying, drag will never be mainstream. And I was like, I don't know about that, Ru, because you're really, really becoming a very, very big and household name. And you already kind of have been even before the show. So the fact that they are shifting this season to what it seems like to be casting queens that are going to be more about the craft of drag, the community craft of drag, as opposed to just like content of drag, I think is really a nice change of pace, because, you know, not that every single season has been like young friendly and social media friendly, but it feels like they understand that, you know, you kind of have to return to form at some point, because you don't want to lose the essence of the show, and you don't want to overproduce. You don't want, you know, and if you're trying to attract a younger audience, I think that it's a queer show. That's enough bait for young people as it is. Like, yeah, being queer is a little more easy these days than it was in the past. So maybe you're not going to attract people that are searching for community as often, because those third spaces exist for us a lot more these days. But still, it's such a huge representation of counterculture and resistance and just saying screw the man, right? So I feel like this is really, I don't know. I just think it's a really good thing that they're doing right now, for sure.
Well, I think that when you have any kind of marginalized identity that has art stemming from that community, oftentimes that does become a part of mainstream culture. I mean, think how often, like, you know, Black vernacular has made it into, you know, whether it's the LGBTQ community and then trickles on down to the straight white girls who then say it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like we have this kind of appreciation for quote unquote counterculture or different culture that comes from marginalized identities, but only under certain situations of like when the people who are in power think that it's cool. Right.
Yeah.
And drag is one of those weird things that like we can like people will be vehemently against drag queens or trans people, for example, but love Mrs. Doubtfire or would love Eddie Murphy movies and such, but you know, but they see that as two different things rather than appreciating that, no, that is a form of drag that you did for entertainment here. And so I think that when you have a community that has had to fight under so many different changes over the past few years, while also having a whole bunch of drag underneath their belt. And I truly think that, especially because of COVID, we got actually a lot more interconnected online in supporting queens. So I really want to give a lot of props to the queens who maybe have had more of an online presence who are now on the show, because I would argue they had to fight to find a space for them coming out of COVID in places, you know? So I really think that we're in an interesting area of drag. So now that we got our overall thoughts of how awesome this cast and such is and how much we're enjoying the season, let's talk about episode 3. So Sugar Free, part of the reason we were so excited to bring you on this week is because you have been doing sketch and comedy and improv. And I would love to hear a little bit more about your comedy background. I know that you went back and watched some of these other RDR lives, and I want like your overall impressions as somebody who's involved with this a little bit more.
Yeah, you know, before drag, it was always comedy. I started drag at Nicole Byer's parody drag race show at UCB. So cool. Called Bad Drag Race. So I was not trying to do good drag when I started. That's for fucking sure.
What's so for those that don't know, what's UCB?
UCB Upright Citizens Brigade, which has an LA location and a New York location. I believe they still are running in New York. COVID made things really weird, and I took a break from improv after COVID. But everything seems to be picking up again. It's fun. So yeah, no, I've been doing comedy for 14 plus years. So I feel very well versed in this. I did want to go back and watch former episodes because I genuinely was not expecting it a fourth time. And I went, I don't know. It's not new Drag Race to come up with recurring challenges. Maybe the slay-offs from Canada, or the lip sync Lollapalooza from recent years in US, but not like a real like main challenge like this.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back and see like what are the things that they are consistently writing for them? What kind of parts are being written? What kind of sketches? And it was interesting. There was enough things that were varied, but also I clocked that Weekend Update has copied their little character bit twice now. So let me take you back. Okay.
Please.
All Stars 8 was the little Weekend Update character was Kahana Montrese as a cat who didn't understand cat like pussy culture or whatever. Those
That's right.
Vagina jokes. And then this one was Jane Don't, fabulous, as a mom who doesn't understand gay culture. So that is that parallel. And then Q as a brick and Susie 2 as RuPaul's babysitter, both of their jokes are, but that was me. I did it first. The brick trying to claim credit for Marsha P. Johnson, babysitter trying to claim credit for RuPaul's slogans. So that is truly the only parallel I've seen between all four of them. Besides that, gotta give credit to the writers. They really work hard to make sure that they're not repeating the same kinds of sketches, the same beats. Maybe they'll find one specific SNL takeoff to go off of, like the Beavers last year, being the Anna Gasteyer Sweaty Balls skit. I couldn't find a direct parody this year, which I appreciated. Maybe y'all clocked one, but
no, I genuinely, when I watched it this year, the only thing was the Weekend Update, which I would assume would always take place based off of how they do it. I didn't clock anything being. And maybe I'm also missing something. So if we are missing a reference, you know that you could just call us out in the comments. Go for it. Go for it.
But just to sum up what I said, like genuinely kudos to the writers. They worked really hard, and they have been working hard to keep this challenge not repetitive.
Yeah. And I think, really leaning into, what the judges respond to a lot of the time with the writing is definitely the way to go. Because, yes, you want there to be cleverness in there, but at the end of the day, it really is like, why do I always forget the queen? No, the big girl, Liz One Person. What's her name?
Can you please her? Yeah.
I feel like RuPaul so much of the time. Like, this one here. Yeah, I think leaning into like, what's your name?
You can't blame her.
Like, bitch, you just crowned me.
That will never not get me together. I watch that when I am like really depressed at the world, and I'll be like, I gotta find that clip of RuPaul not knowing Jinx Monsoon.
Like, she just crowned her too. That was wild.
As an all winners queen.
Have you all seen the clip of Monet talking about that, being like, I saw that clip and I called Bob and I said, I think I won All Star 7.
Yeah, because I would have too, Monet. Absolutely. Jeez, that's so funny.
But yeah, like Kenya talked about, just this is the overacting Olympics. Like, you really want to give the queens the material for them to be loud, brash, stupid, and just funny, and just really overexpose themselves. So yeah, I think the writers are doing well. Which
is why I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the judging of this episode, because I did feel like there were people who did that and did it serviceably that were read for it, and people who didn't do that who were praised for it. And I'm like, okay. And especially since they took that quote from a queen, Kenya, who then ended up not even being in the top or the bottom, kind of makes you go, okay, what are you looking for then here? Because again, this season, I'm finding it's kind of like an all-star season, in the sense that I'm having a hard time going, that person was absolutely worse than this person for these reasons, or I didn't like this person in the challenge, but I love the runway. I hate that runway, but they did awesome in the challenge. Like, it's so interesting. Like, I find very nuanced opinions. Are you finding the same, Sugar Free?
Oh, absolutely. And we can even get into, we'll get into everyone's individuals later, but Kenya was someone I thought should have been in the bottom, to be honest.
Yeah.
Every single line sounded like this, and it sounded like this. Every single line sounded like this. And it's like she was like, I like Plum, because she literally comes in the scene and disrupts it. And that was the only choice she made.
It was to go monotone AI version of lipstick or something coming at it.
And then at one point she just goes, I rolled around behind the toilet while just standing and slowly spinning in a circle. That got me. I will say that made me laugh a lot. Not for the right reason. I will say that we will talk about Miss Mango at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are very defensive of Miss Mango. I personally thought it was funny for the wrong reasons at the time. Of course. It should be funny for the right reasons. And so I see why she was in the bottom. But yeah. I agree with you that this challenge, this is very arbitrary. We could nitpick the entire time on everybody.
Totally. I also think that anytime that there's especially a comedy challenge, comedy is subjective, right? So they're like, I look at what the writers have written and I go, okay, I don't know if this is going to land, because I don't know if people are going to think this is funny. Like, sometimes, like, at the end of the day, it's a writing show. The SNL is a writing show. That's why they are writers who happen to perform for the most part, right? So when I think that if they made this challenge a little harder and maybe brought it a little farther into the season, or if they did it for an all-star season or something, the queen should have to write it as well. That's how I think, in order to take full control of it. Why don't we go, since we're talking about the challenge, let's talk about the challenge in the runway and how they did, and then we could talk about any individual like in between moments and such afterwards that tickled our fancy. For me, which spoiler alert, I want to get into Jane Don't being so upset that she might be too good for everybody, because I know that's not
relatable.
I know that's not what it is. I know exactly how she feels, but I also think it's kind of funny. So anyway, let's go through each queen individually and talk about how they did in the challenge and on the runway. The runway theme, I literally forgot the name of it. It's like, it was
Animal
basically
attraction.
Animal attraction, yeah.
So, you know, bestiality. No, just kidding.
I almost said it.
Animals you'd like to.
Bestiality.
They're elves. Animals I'd like to
We're going
be
there.
friends with. Okay, so here we go. We have Athena Dion, who comes out as a white barn owl. I thought this was such a unique interpretation of this runway. I love the face kini because it really kind of gives the owl aesthetic in a way that I never would have really thought of before. I love the feathers, the silhouette, the gold and the white. I didn't expect something like this, but at the same time I did from her, you know? What did you guys think of her look? And in the RDR challenge, she is the host, and she wasn't necessarily happy about getting the host position originally. This is definitely, I think, kind of her clawing back from last week. But Aman, what did you think of Athena this week, both with her outfit and in the challenge?
I thought she did well. I don't think it was anything super crazy good. But again, like you said, I think that does have, sometimes it has to do more so with the writing than it does like their performance. I thought that she did a perfectly fine job. I liked the way that she introduced the first sketch. So, you know, it was okay. You know, I think it was definitely just safe. In terms of the look, and the owl is my favorite bird. I love owls. They're just so majestic. They're so, I used to get called an owl a lot as a kid because I had like these big ass eyes for my face when I was younger. So yeah, I just I've always loved owls, and I think that this interpretation of it is great. It's fluffy, it's big, but so majestic and so cool. So, and I did not know that owls were associated with Athena. I learned that today. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
I never knew that.
I'm that gay that knew that since 4th grade because
yeah,
there's just certain kids in Greek mythology. It just really holds on to you.
Oh, for sure. I also have to say, just side note, for those who are Pokemon nerds like myself, doesn't she kind of give you a little bit like a regional form of Decidueye, which I know has already happened, but like, isn't this kind of a Decidueye moment?
Oh, like
I don't know.
Fairy.
I'm not a Pokemon gay, but I probably would agree.
Sound off in the comments what Pokemon you think Athena is, guys.
Yes, I know.
Pokemon.
It's Athena Dion. Sugar Free, give us your thoughts.
Okay. And this is based off of watching every other host do this. Athena has been the best host so far for me in a very thankless role in this challenge. Totally. Candy was the first one in All-Stars 8. Not great. Yep. Then Mirage did it.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And then Anya did it. And Anya, I believe, was in the top. And she did quite fine. But
she won.
No, Susie won.
Oh, I thought she won for this because I thought, no, she was in the top. That's right. In this episode, they said there was somebody who was in the top. There's someone in the bottom.
It was a great debate that episode whether or not she should have, because she was so charismatic as the host. Yeah. It was so good.
Yeah, My only thing with Anya's hosting was she had a very children's theater approach to how she performed it. Every line was this, but she did it in a very nuanced way, and every line was slightly different, but it was very presentational. So I thought Athena did a great job of actually feeling like a real person who was trying to host the show and, you know, be charismatic, deal with this bit that I did not appreciate, this Inner Saboteur bit. I did not appreciate everyone bullying Athena into this role because it strategically was stupid for every person in that fucking room. Let's talk about it. Why would you give Jane the scene stealing role that she wants when she just won the challenge and was in the top last week? I'm sorry. I think it is fair enough to say, hey, it is week 3, Jane. I think you will do fine in literally any role.
You know what's so funny though? It's like it was that or the host. So they were really either going to give Jane the host job, which I arguably think would have maybe been even better for her. I think that she is somebody that could turn something like that out too. Or, like you said, give her the scene stealing moment to be a character actress, which she clearly is.
I just, that I did not understand the rest of the cast. Like Sierra was like, yeah, Athena, be the host, do it. What are we doing here, guys? I thought we all wanted to win this game ourselves, not give it to Jane. But I will say Athena did a great job with the card she was dealt this week. And the look is fabulous. Yeah.
I'm going to put it out there. I don't think anybody has ever confirmed this or anything like that, to my knowledge. But I think this is strategic by the queens by recognizing that Athena is not necessarily a good partner to work with after last week. And so why push her to work with other people? Maybe you should just be the host.
And work with Briar, who loves you.
Who is so ecstatic to be able to bring this level to this, right? So it's like, work with the only person who wants to work with you purely because she doesn't care and she likes that she's getting under your skin.
Oh,
I think it was strategic like that.
Different strategy than what I'm thinking, but I think you're right. Wow.
That's what I think. But I gotta say, there's a reason why she is a legendary hostess, because I agree with you. There was a level of confidence that I felt with her that, like, even if she didn't ever make me laugh or anything, which she did not.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm like, it was fine. It was okay.
But she was in no way awful. Like, she is a good host. And I think that I feel confident that whenever I have the opportunity now to go see Athena Dion host a show, I'm going to be very excited about going to that show. I know that my money is going to be well spent.
My only critique about the hosting role in general for RDR Live is that typically the host is someone who's like throughout the entire show. I think in order to make it a little bit more stakes heavy, they do need to have some type of cameo in every sketch. They don't need to be the centerpiece for every sketch like how it is on SNL. But I do think, I think there needs to be, because sometimes, like, if it's just the opening monologue, it's like, and if the writing is particularly like, that season, you're kind of, there's not much to it, so that's a production thing. That's nothing to do with her. So
I think it's a good point, though.
Next up, we have Darlene Mitchell, who was in the first sketch that they did, which was the butter churning competition sketch. Darlene ends up in the top 3 for her performance, and the only criticism she gets on the runway is that she is not wearing heels with her hooves, which I would give her a slight pass for that, considering the outfit. But I am otherwise, I continue to be Team Darlene. I really am enjoying her. Sugar Free.
No, they can't know.
Oh no!
You've unmasked her.
Could you imagine? First of all, in a show where you're not in drag, that's how I unmask you, is calling you Adam.
So with Darlene, this look is nuts. I'm sorry. I feel like no one's talking about how fucking weird this look is, because she has the skin showing with her titties out, but her feet are cow feet.
Yeah. Why
does she have a cape and a matching hat? Who is this? I feel like I'm on Project Runway. I'm like, who is this girl? Where is she going? What event is this for?
But also, why the black with the brown cow print?
I don't know. Maybe if it was a black and white cow print, it'd be a little chic. It's just so weird, and we're not talking about it, guys.
I didn't get the. Forgive me if the joke is going so over my head and it's so obvious. I'm sorry, but I didn't get the pun that Michelle made when she came out. She said, "What did she say?" She said, she sang. She was like, "Hey, Mr. Holstein." Like, what does that mean?
Oh, okay. This is my element.
I know
that
the
is
funny girl part, but
no. That's
I know the funny girl reference, but what does "hole" mean?
Oh wait, no.
The melody Aman just sang was from Funny Girl.
That's from Funny Girl.
She said, "Mr. Holstein,"
and then the next line is
cackled, and I was like, I don't get it. Is
it supposed to be Hovstein? Like,
is Holstein like a beef brand or something? Like,
maybe she was trying to make it Hov.
Yeah, because it's Armstein in the original.
Oh, maybe she said Hove. Okay, I thought she said hole. Oh wait, whole milk? That's a stretch.
I really think she was just trying to get like a hooves into the name.
Okay. I need to get a sanctioned copy of the episode so I can put the closed captions on. So
I also love that I'm with two people who would go, Beth, that is not Gypsy. That is Funny Girl. And like, I miss being in company who can correct me on musical theater.
We're gonna do it every time,
as we need to, as we should. This is American history. All right, we got to know these things. Speaking of American history, we got a cow here on this. I do. The only thing I like about the cape is I love the pointed shoulders. Like, I love the structure there, but I don't really see the need for the cape to even be like that long or anything like that. I love the nose ring. I love her paint. I hate the hat.
Yeah.
There's no point. If she didn't have the hat and she had something like, something cute up in the hair or something like a fascinator instead, I think that would have been more interesting. But what did you think about her performance in the challenge? Because to me, I think she stole the show across everybody. I think she was the best on the season.
She asked, Lord forgive me, I forget the SNL.
Sarah Sherman.
Sarah Sherman, yeah.
Sarah Sherman. She asked her the perfect question, and like, when you have a role, like, how do you interpret it? Do you kind of just like go full force? Do you just like let yourself fall into it? And Sarah told her, like, you kind of just have to be open. You have to be open to all possibilities. Don't allow yourself to go into this with a strict idea of what you're supposed to do. React. Acting is reacting. And of course, RuPaul will co-sign that because he's always been the big proponent of just like, let go, don't take it too seriously. And I think that she did that. Like, she, it was a fucking butter churning competition. Like, it's stupid. And of course, all the sexual innuendos, and she had fun with it. Her facial expressions, like, it was just so free and funny and stupid. And yeah, like, she made such an impact without even having a line, so it was great. My only critique about this look is because of the hat and the cape, it's giving very much Puss in Boots. So give us full on beef in boots and turn those feet into like thigh high boots. You can still have the hooves at the front. But give us a heel, still have the design on the boot. Beef in boots, baby. That's what you needed, just to elevate it, literally.
More about moose and
Steak and slay.
Moves and boots.
So no, I think she did a great job. Love the physical comedy. Loved the confidence and the ease. The weirdest thing for me to point out: why was her eyeshadow green and yellow? And this is such like a weird, like, I'm a drag queen and I noticed that kind of, because blue would make sense. That's the classic trashy eyeshadow color, but it was green and yellow. And it just felt such like a specific choice for her to make that I just thought made the character make more sense. And I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why, but I fucking love it.
You know what? I just figured it was like corn, or butter, like they were out, and it just felt like more farm colors or something. And it's also kind of reminiscent of that, like, rural perspective, I guess. Because she came out kind of looking, was it corn or something like that? I can't remember.
And her entrance for
her entrance
season, yeah, she was in corn.
Yeah, so I feel like it was almost a nod to that if she's going to play the white trash, person with like a rural perspective. But I agree, because I watched that and I clocked it for a split second, but I probably didn't spend as much time thinking about it as you did.
It's all I think about is makeup stuff on this show. All I think about.
But again, to Aman's point, what Darlene did was uphold all the pinnacles of improv, of saying yes and being willing to just be in the moment, be present, and also just allow yourself to do the thing that you normally would kind of filter yourself with. Well, now just do it. Why not? Grab the second churner, go for it. Like, I also have to say, as somebody who's played a lot of Mario Party and has had to do a lot of button mashing, I was really impressed with the stamina of Darlene Mitchell with that butter churner. And she is whoever's with her, lucky person. Or very unlucky person.
Poor Mr. Mitchell.
Poor Mr. Mitchell. His wiener was tugged off. Anyway.
She also did a really good job of, because she didn't have much dialogue, she did a really good job of presenting everything. And I think we'll talk about it later. That was the biggest issue for me with Mandy, was she did not know how to present her physical comedy out to the camera correctly. But Darlene was very good at finding her angles and making sure that it read right. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I physical comedy is my favorite type of comedy. I love slapstick. It's my jam. Shout out to the queen of physical comedy, Raven-Symoné. I grew up watching all that stuff, and it just so.
That's, you know what? I'm sorry. Sidebar here. I have always called Fran Drescher the Lucille Ball of the 90s because of The Nanny was very physical slapstick comedy, similar to I Love Lucy and that kind of thing. I definitely could see Raven-Symoné being the like millennial version of that for sure. I like never even thought of it like that, but that is
the hijinks that would ensue in that So Raven baby. It makes me laugh to this very day.
I will say it now. I think she was the best lead of a Disney sitcom we've ever had.
Yep,
hands down. I agree with that. And now when you go on Drag Race, you can win a lifetime supply of Raven-Symoné. Shout out who did that? Those again?
Lee Dawson.
Lee Dawson, thank you.
Follow their second Twitter.
And also, speaking of which, once again, thank you so much to Drag Looks for letting us use their stuff. That means probably just flagged. I know. I was like, not me jumping over that.
Bestiality.
No, we're gonna be taken off air. All right, well, let's move on to Mandy Mango. We've already had some things to say, but Sugar Free, let's start with you. Obviously, Mandy ends up in the bottom 2 and is eventually eliminated from this episode. This is her 3rd time in the bottom. What were your thoughts about her in the episode? Because clearly, I know that you had some thoughts about, she was so bad in different ways than the maybe other people are coming at.
For me, it's because I could tell how close she was to getting it right, and she was just a little off in understanding why this was funny. Yes. And for me, it was the first butter churning pattern she did, which was like to look down and have like a. She read rhythmic and was like, "I'll make a funny choice." When in actuality, I think it would have been funnier if she had just like kept a slow look at the camera, maybe. Keeping it down there. I don't know, but
1,000%.
It just felt unhuman. Her choices. and never expose your breastplate. They must believe that they are real. The second we know they're not, a lady must not. No.
My mother told me the same thing when I was younger. She said, never reveal your breastplate. People might not understand that they're not real otherwise.
So her character didn't make sense. Also, like when she fell at the end, unlike Darlene, she literally like hid her face away and like collapsed to the side. It was just not clean in presentation compared to many other people. Speaking of not clean in presentation, this look, I love the concept of this look. Do not get me wrong. However, she's wearing a helmet with a leather bike strap on her chin, and that needs to be. That's just not pretty. I'm sorry. It's clearly when you have so little time to come up with so many looks, and you're like, but I want them out of my. Just make a helmet. I don't care how it looks. Go. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
And she's the one who's putting together her outfits too, right? I think that she's one of the ones that is that true or no?
I can't remember.
I feel like she said that she put together like, the look last week and such. I think that she's somebody.
Nene, Discord, and I believe it's also her. Yes.
Yeah.
I will find out.
Please.
And what's her face? Sierra Mist.
Yes.
I Aman, I don't know how you feel, but I kind of feel like that they judged her a little too harshly, and because she'd been in the bottom a couple of times, they decided to just like, it's your time. Because I do see exactly what Sugar Free has said and what the judges have said, that it's like she has all the ingredients, but she doesn't necessarily know maybe the proper steps to make the cake. Or she has everything and it's like just maybe underdone in the oven at this point, like just a little bit more time and it will be a cake that we want.
I think she just had the misfortune of being paired with someone who was allowed to really, really go big. You know, and sometimes it can be very hard to be the straight man in a sketch where someone else is just going like balls to the wall. And so I just I don't think that she really had anywhere to go. I don't think she had many levels to her performance. You know, I think, you know, whipping out the boobs and turning that way was funny to me. I laughed at that, but you know, I think it did come like maybe a little too late, or maybe she just needed more dimension to the way that she was trying to up the ante as someone who was, you know, prim and proper. So like, I mean, I understand where the judges were coming from. I still do think that they were picking on her a little bit, but at the same time, like I'm trying not to let my bias show. Like I'm an aspiring nurse from Philly, and she's a whole nurse from Philly. So it's like,
this is your family.
This is my girl. Although everybody,
it's Keke Palmer.
not to say, not to, you know, be shady, but like everybody here in the city has been like, bitch, I have never seen her a day in my life.
It's funny enough, most of the people in LA are like the newer queens are like never heard of her, and then like all of the old bitches back in the day are like, yeah, I think I saw Trash once.
Yeah, totally.
Like I would understand that from LA because LA is full of performers, full of people. Like you're gonna, you know, it's such a huge, it's the second largest city in the country, right? You know, Philly, you know, we're not small, but we're not big either. So it's like,
we know who the queens are.
I've seen some numbers from Miss Mingo online in clips serving up. She can serve, and I do think she won that lip sync undoubtedly.
I think
like,
she did too.
I agree. I
think
agree.
She did too. I agree. I agree.
I have to say, so I agree wholeheartedly with what you said, Sugar Free, and what the judges said with her, because what would make this so funny is that she doesn't necessarily need to do levels because Darlene is setting what the levels should be on that extreme. She should almost be getting quieter and quieter and quieter, and as she's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's the levels that you go for. Could you imagine if she had played it like the girl in Pitch Perfect who doesn't talk ever and is just like really quiet, and then she all of a sudden under her breath would go like, I'm going to burn the building down or whatever. Like, could you imagine if she had done that instead? Like she starts, like you said, and all she does is just a normal thing. And she's just staring into the camera. And then meanwhile, Darlene's going like, and then maybe she just does it even slower and then looks over. Maybe she just twists it. Doesn't even go up and down. Makes no sense that she's just twisting it and just starts doing like this or something. Just like, you can be the straight person and not say anything. Look at Leslie Nielsen, who made a whole career of just saying things in the same way, like monotone like this, and never had to say the command. There's ways to do that, to be quieter, to be the straight person, and absolutely be way funnier than the person who's outlandish. You are funnier because you're sticking to being the straight person in the scene. That makes it inherently funnier. So I do agree with that, but I also think that there were people who were far worse than her in the challenge. So that is where I come across. For her outfit, I liked this much better when she got rid of the dress and when she was lip syncing.
I agree.
I thought with her hair being completely out from the helmet, she looked gorgeous during the lip sync.
I loved her eye makeup.
I loved her whole face makeup. Like she looked absolutely pretty. And when she was lip syncing, I was like, weirdly enough, I know this is kind of like abstract. This to me is art. This outfit doing that song makes no sense, but she made it work. And I am so... like, I understand that there were moments that she just seemed like she was bucking around stage. Totally get that. But if you're a deer, you're allowed to buck. Anyway. Moving on to Mia Starr, who is safe in this episode. I am going to be honest with you. I can't even remember what she did in this episode.
She was one of the commentators for the butter churning.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be honest. I felt like both of them were... so what? Discord, I actually genuinely thought could have been in the bottom, because I got literally, she did like a couple of things and that was it. But I was like, you could be going way over the top as commentators here in a different way than they were.
I actually thought that Mia was the worst commentator of the two, because I thought Mia really gave nothing in that challenge.
Go ahead, girl, give us nothing.
Which is fine, but then she also did it again on the runway, and that's what I didn't understand. This, to me, looks exactly like what she has described, that she used to do drag a decade ago and has only been redoing drag the last 3 or 4 years. And so I don't know how to explain it, but this is exactly what I would expect that level of queen to do. You know, I'll just wear a cute little outfit with the thigh-high boots and then style it to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
What is she supposed to be again?
A poodle.
A poodle.
I do like. I do like the poodle aesthetic that she's brought, because we normally see poodles as like a very like maybe like French or elegant kind of like dog, and I like that she kind of made it a little curvier and a little bit more of like an outlandish thing for it with the styling and such. But I like the symmetry of like 2 poofs on top, 2 poofs here, 2 poofs on the butt. Like I like that, and it looks okay, and it's a great outfit. If I went to the club and I saw her wearing that, I'd be so excited about it. But for something like a Drag Race, I felt like this was a safe runway. I didn't hate it, but I genuinely couldn't remember Mia in this entire challenge, both in the challenge and on the runway. So
to me, Mia's outfit looks like last season of All Stars when they had to do like the Bitchler, the dog version. It looks like this is the outfit she was supposed to bring to be a dog in the acting challenge, not to be a dog on the runway.
Could you imagine if she was supposed to be on All Stars 10 and they went, we're actually going to add a queen who hasn't even filmed her first season yet, and we gave that, and it was Mia Starr, and she was on All Stars, and then they were, we're not going to do that. Never mind. Come on. Could you imagine if that had been the lore? I would have loved that.
She danced with J-Lo, guys. Give her a break.
She can look like a dog. Next up, we have Kenya Pleaser, who was also safe. In terms of girls who wore thigh-high boots with just a tight outfit, this was one of my more favorite ones, just because I like the material looks a little different. It's flashy. There's the sexiness with the black and such. I like the hat. I love her like little bob hair with it. But I also just thought like, okay, safe. Like I'm not blown away by this outfit. Yeah, but I think that she looks beautiful.
She was fine in her sketch. The look is fine. I like that she was like, I gotta pimp it up a little bit to give it a little bit of spice. It still kind of just gives regular Puss in Boots to me, but that's fine. But yeah, you know, I thought that Kenya did a perfectly fine job this week.
What do you think, Sugar Free?
So I appreciate that the look is fully rhinestoned. I bet in person this was so pretty to watch walk down the runway. Kenya loves a tiny little raggedy black skirt because she brought this from home and she made one episode 1. So let's just see if she brings that back. I don't know if I dislike it or not, because I get why it's here, but I just remember in movement when I was watching it, not loving the skirt and it feeling like it brought the look down, for me at least.
Can I theorize why, in a way that I promise I don't mean by any body shaming? I actually mean this as empowerment. If you look at especially the bottom picture, for those of you who are watching the video, I love that we have a queen that is not hiding a stomach, and it's almost like the stomach is there. And for bigger queens, oftentimes it's about trying to, how can we make the stomach like lessen or anything like that for bigger people in general. What I like is that we have an overhang of the stomach here and it looks beautiful. And what's actually happened is that the skirt makes it look like it's being eaten up by extra body fat, so to say. And that is what makes it look weird to me. Whereas if she had a longer skirt, it still could have shown off the belly and looked beautiful that way, but it wouldn't have looked like things are getting scrunched up or something.
Yeah, because I love the placement of the skirt. I actually do really love that cut when it gets to the stomach. For me, it just looks a little bit like rags.
It's
and it's tied around her waist.
It looked. I thought she was wearing like shorts that had like a thing on the side until I got closer, and then I saw that it was a skirt. If the skirt was a little longer, because this is the other thing too. If you got a booty, you guys know this. If you ever try to wear a skirt or anything, if you've got a booty, those shorter skirts don't do you justice, because they're halfway up your ass crack at that
it's
point.
Gonna ride on up, baby.
Yeah. So we need a longer mini skirt. So when you see things that are like, 5 inches versus 7, sometimes if you got a fat ass, you need a 7-inch because it's going to look like a 5-inch. Okay. Just saying. But all of that is to say, again, I can't tell you how much I enjoy looking at people with bigger bodies be like, this is my fucking overhang stomach and I'm fucking beautiful for it. And bitch, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. I was watching The Pit last week and they like lift up the stomach and it's all distended.
I just started watching. I'm on episode 3.
Yeah. So like you get to that point and I just like, I remember I was looking at that on The Pit and I was going like, that doesn't disgust me. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to be socially conditioned to say that's disgusting. And I'm really thankful because of shows like Drag Race that showcase various different body shapes. And quite frankly, is one of the shows that helped empower me to love my body as I was getting bigger and bigger. Like, genuinely, gotta give Kenya.
Especially in the age of the O. For sure.
Oh, absolutely. So I just wanted to give her the kudos there for that. That said, in the challenge, I definitely could have seen her be in the bottom. As we had said this before, I just felt like every line was done the same way, but she did have energy that other people didn't have.
Exactly. She's very lucky that Vita did not have energy, because I think if Vita was a little bit more in tune with this role, it would have easily have been Kenya instead.
I agree. Let's move on to the next person, which is Sierra Mist, who comes out using her prosthetics for the first time on the runway to be a chameleon. In the challenge, she was one of the Weekend Update reporters. So it's her and Briar are the two reporter co-host anchors, and Jane, who comes in as like the special guest. What did you think, Sugar Free, of Sierra, both in the challenge and on the runway? I'm really interested in your thoughts as someone who does sketch comedy, because I have confusing thoughts about her.
I do too. So this was also the role with the least to do out of everybody in the show.
Yeah.
So she just got to play Weekend Update Lady 1, who is the one who gets to interview the guest. I do believe former seasons, both of the Weekend Update people had things to do in at least one other tiny sketch. So it just I felt a little bad for Sierra, but also I didn't understand why they wanted this role. I thought they did completely serviceably okay. I thought that their individual jokes outside of the mom scene, I thought all of the jokes were bad on Weekend Update. Just personally, I didn't think a single joke was good. This
is why on Weekend Update, that is Colin and Michael writing for each other, or most of the time, right? That should have been, if you have something the least to do with anything else, this is like maybe dependent on what you're doing. You have to write it. You have to write your monologue. You have to write Weekend Update. Everything else are sketches that are written for you. I think that is like what should be the inherent challenge here.
I would love it if they just gave them like, hey, these are the slides. Make a joke about Ozempic. Make a joke about Michelle. Make a joke about... Yeah, and just go with it. I think that'd be better. But what I found funny though was I did watch Untucked to see if anything interesting happened. Not really. But Sierra has like a mini crisis finding out that Jane was in the top, Briar was in the bottom, and that Rue specifically said this was going poorly until Jane showed up. And so it cuts to Sierra actively trying to get a storyline at some point this season, going, uh-oh. What does that mean about me then? And everyone just goes, okay, Sierra.
Well, the best was, she said, what did you think, Jane? Did you think that Weekend Update needed to be saved and it was not going well? And Jane was like, well, it's just like well, it's well, you know, it's and it's so funny to me. And we'll get to Jane, but like I just love that her story arc this episode has been, I know that I'm a big hitter, and I am now being asked to say
with the others.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. I was like, yeah, that is absolutely what's happening with her.
And
I mean,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I did think that she was the more animated of the two hosts, and granted, she did have a bit more to react to, given that her mom was on the panel with her. So, you know, I think that she did a good job there. Where Mandy, you know, had the misfortune of being paired, she had the fortune of being paired with someone who just was very monotone, didn't really understand levels in speech and things of that nature. So, you know, it was fine. In terms of this look, I could not tell you what it is unless she told me it was a chameleon. And even when she says it's a chameleon, I don't know. I don't see chameleon. I see ancient mythological dragon with a long tongue. I don't know what's going on.
From the neck up, it's giving Biceratops, and then the neck down, I have absolutely no idea. Also, the
Greninja tongue Pokemon again.
I don't understand why they gave Sierra an extended time to talk about her prosthetics for it to just be changing her nose slightly.
Thank you. I was like, okay, girl.
In a color that is too dark to recognize where the prosthetic is.
Where are they? No, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I know that they're there. At the very least, if she had been able to speak to the judges and go, oh, it's right here, and this is how I did that, or whatever, then maybe I would have been like, okay, this is why I'm putting it out there. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I think that she's too happy of a person, but I think she should go on Dragula. I think that her drag is more suited for the kinds of things that you'll do on that show. Now, if I don't know if she wants to do extermination challenges or anything. That is very, very different. But that kind of show, I feel like, has more embraced the prosthetic area. And that's why I'm happy to have her on Drag Race, because I do think that that is a very valid thing in drag.
Yes.
What we may find, and I can't wait to see if she ever does get judging, is how much Michelle and Rue are going to go after things like her lip makeup. Like I guarantee at some point they're going to go, we'd like to see you with a different beat at one point. Okay. So that's going to be one. And if she does prosthetics a lot, they're probably going to say, okay, go back to make sure that's not every single time. But I genuinely think that this season, while I feel like sometimes the judging has been a little archaic or just a little different, I also want to give RuPaul a huge high five about something in this episode that was with Discord, with him encouraging Discord's kind of like wacky walk, because the reason why all of us are making fun of it is because we know that's not something that RuPaul and Michelle thinks is working. If she came out and we had a show where the judges embraced people's wackiness because that is who they are and that's how they're trying to present things, and then judged it based off of, you know, that, then we wouldn't have reacted like we have to Discord in that way. And I think that that's actually a sign of a lot of progression in the way that RuPaul is seeing more modern queens and going, not everybody has to have this 90s power walk that supermodels have. Not everybody has to present things like this way. And I just wanted to say, like, that for me was a really rare moment of RuPaul kind of adjusting to today's idea of, especially with Discord being
like,
so
bitch,
punk.
you can't walk, and we love it.
Yeah.
I wrote down, RuPaul lying to Discord is the best production choice she's ever made.
No, but I mean, it's true though, because like, well, guess what? When she came out, Discord did it, and she had way more fun on the runway.
It felt better of a walk, I will say.
Yes, it was the same clunk. It will get to Discord, but like, I just wanted to shout that out while I thought about it. Next up, we have Nini Coco, who I feel like this is the first episode she was a complete non-entity in that we've had her so far. But I think that she did well serviceable in both the challenge and on the runway. I think this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But Aman, what did you think of Nene this week? She was
I
the ruby red lipstick.
love the look. I love the look. I love the frog look. It's so fun. And the fact that she made this, like, all right, like, it's like, I feel like she's like 75%, like she hits it, and then the other 25% so far have been like, so I hope that we continue to be on an upward trend. Yeah, I mean, the lipstick lover sketch, you know, it's fun. I liked when she first got slapped that she spun all the way around. That was funny.
But like gracefully, like it wasn't. It was like a pirouette. It was so beautiful.
I think she was definitely the best one out of the three of them that were in the sketch. So I think perfectly safe is fine. Yeah, and I'm just more excited to see what else she brings to the runway. To be honest, I think that she's funny. She's funny. Her little quip about like Vita being in whiteface and her culture is not a costume was funny. So I think that she's I think she's a bit of a dark horse right now. I do.
Yeah. What do you think, Adam?
I actually
sugar-free.
Thank you so much. Sugar Adam free. So I think that Nene, for me, is my front runner to win this season. I'll be honest. I think that she has such a definitive stamp on what she wants her drag to look like. Like when this look came out, I went, this is exactly what I expect from Nene, but in the best way possible. Like, yes, I'm so glad you did this. I love little things like she's been doing this colorful paper lash on the center of her lashes to match her looks. And this one, it is orange and black speckled. And it's just so cool. Like she just gets it. She understands what drag is and she understands what art is, specifically her standpoint in that. And she looks like no one else. I really like Nene. She was undoubtedly the best in her sketch as well. Just very confident, very competent as well. I just think that she's someone that's going to be really, really hard to throw off her game. And knowing that next week's a design challenge, I'm just very excited for more Nene Coco.
I'm really excited for her too. And I got to say, I think that she reminds me a lot of the confidence and ingenuity and such that in terms of like having every single detail thought out and is immaculate that Sam Starr had last season. But as people will recall, it took me a long time to warm up to Sam Starr, whereas I'm not having any issue warming up to Nene Coco. And I think a lot of that has to do with maybe just like a cultural difference of North and Southern culture or something that or whatever. And maybe I just identify a little bit more with Denver. Probably makes sense to me at least. But I genuinely see her like, I don't know, just having a real sense of everything that works for her and having the confidence with this. She's somebody like Darlene, who I think is genuinely having fun and isn't afraid to just be exactly who she is. That is what I see in Nene, which is so strong. The only thing I wish she would have done in the scene was really leaned into like the Mae West of it all and had been like a little bit more like, see? Yeah. And if she had done a little bit of that, first of all, you know, RuPaul would have lived. But second of all, I really
don't gag every time.
Yeah, it would have differentiated her character even more so because it started off really differentiated and then it kind of just slipped as Kenya entered the scene. And I really didn't get a separation of what her character was like versus Kenya's once they were interacting. And I feel like if she had really kept this idea of I'm just going to be Mae West the entire time, and even if all I do is talk like this, sweetness, like that would have been fine. So, but I
think that's fair.
This was my favorite runway until somebody else came out. But next we have Mikey Meeks, who comes out and she is safe. Now I got to say, RuPaul. A 10 out of 10 fake out for who's in the top and the bottom moment.
So funny.
Because Mikey is convinced that she and Juicy are both in the top. And RuPaul dismisses a whole bunch of safe queens and then calls her up with a couple other people and says, "You're also safe."
So weird.
Fucking rude, RuPaul. With the amount of confessionals Mikey got this episode, I was convinced she was going to be in the top, and then she wasn't.
Yeah. It did sort of give top edit.
Wow, I spelled her
you know,
name completely wrong. I'm so sorry, Mikey.
oh yeah, MYKI.
Oh my gosh, I just clocked it. What?
I just did too. I'm so sorry. This is like the third week I've done that. I'm so sorry, Mikey.
I thought that she did a pretty good job. I thought the parts of the sketch after Juicy's character gives her the leeway to start doing double entendres and all that stuff, I thought that she really began to build and build and build and build. I thought that was really, really well done. I would not have minded if she was in the top or if she won. I can understand why she didn't win, but I don't quite understand why she wasn't in the top. Especially, again, I think that she kind of benefited from who her partner was. And I think Juicy did a better job than I think that she would have given her own damn self credit for. But I think, the foil there was definitely in Mikey's favor. So definitely a good job. The look may have been what brought her down a bit. I do think it's just a touch uninspired, like where some of these other queens are really becoming the animal that has inspired them. This one kind of just feels like this could be from any runway. It could be from a cowboy runway and you wouldn't question it, right? So I don't think that it was distinctive enough. I really wanted more of, that famous cheetah costume of The Lion King on Broadway?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
That's what I want. Give me that. That's what I want.
Aman, yes. Because here's what I'm thinking. I really want to know, and I'm sure we won't be able to hear this for months, but what the brief was for this runway. Because so many people wore a hat that makes me feel like, did they say Animal Western or something, some shit like that? Because you got Darlene with that black hat made no fucking sense. You have Mikey with this hat, makes no sense. Who do we just see that just had a hat? Kenya had a hat. That made more sense with her outfit. But a lot of people are wearing these brimmed hats, and I'm going, what? I have never thought I'm going to be a toad. Let me put on a hat. Well, actually, a toad would make sense with a top hat because you've had people like, come on, anyway. But I'm just like, why the hats? Does anybody have a hat?
Well, Mikey does. So I do agree with what y'all are saying about this not being like fully cooked, but for me, I appreciate this in the grand package of Mikey Meeks. And it's because of the makeup. Let's talk about the makeup. Because we haven't yet.
Okay.
She changed up her eye makeup so much from what she typically does. Because typically, I find Mikey Meeks to be a fascinating drag queen, I will say. Because she is so like pinup doll, pussy puss with the strangest eye makeup I've seen in a while. Because it doesn't feel like it should be strange, but it is. Because it's always black and white. Her liner is like always blown out and faded out and really pushed back and just a tight black line and a big fluffy lash. So a lot of times it looks a little crazy, but somehow puss, and I don't know how to explain it. This, however, graphic liners, we got the little tears going down. She really changed her face and her eyes in a way that with this edit is telling me that Mikey's a contender. Because, maybe she didn't win, but Jules was edited quite well in challenges. She didn't win early on as well. I'm not counting out Mikey Meeks. I personally think challenge-wise did better than Juicy, but also agree with y'all that they just bounced off each other. Juicy would not have won without Mikey and vice versa.
Yes.
I kind of wonder why, and maybe she tried this and it just didn't work the way that she liked it, and that's more than fair, but I'm interested why there's no whiskers or even like little like dots to show whiskers if she's going to go with the cat nose and try to, you know what I mean? Just something that shows, again, here, you could make them look like 3 beauty marks and not actually write whiskers, but those 3 little dots here infer that you have whiskers or something, but just make them look like beauty marks or something. I felt like in the challenge, she did well. That scene is so confusing to me, and I can't wait to talk about Juicy because I have so much to say about that.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Mikey was a good actress, but I don't think she was funny.
That's how I felt about Juicy, actually.
That's exactly how I felt about Juicy too.
Yeah.
I didn't really think that this sketch was funny. I kind of felt like, despite them really trying, this was just poorly written, because you had somebody, like, the whole point was that Juicy's character is supposed to, like, you know, inspire this Michelle Visage, but it was like, actually Mikey's supposed to be Michelle Visage. Like, it's in theory, it just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
It's a strange choice, because they're asking us to understand that Michelle Visage learned everything she knows from Jean.
Yeah,
some random Office Max bitch. Yeah,
which is funny, because everything that they praised Juicy for is exactly why she didn't do well by her character. Yeah. And everything that Mikey said in the workroom that she should do in order to really hit the lines, because there's so many Drag Race references, she didn't do any of those lines like that.
Barely. So, she like the diet version of those lines.
So I just, it makes it hard for me to then judge Mikey, because I'm like, Mikey was trying to be Michelle Visage, but really what she should have been was trying to mimic what Juicy is doing, and I never saw any aspect of that. So I just felt like they kind of missed the mark completely on the scene, and I felt like it was appropriate for her to be safe. I understand why Juicy is in the top, and we're going to get to her for sure, but I don't also necessarily agree with everything 100%. Let's talk about Discord. We talked a little bit already about her walk and such. Sugar Free, what do you think about Discord in this competition so far, especially this week with the commentator was one of her roles, and the runway walk itself, or runway itself?
So she was the slightly more lively commentator, I will say. Just slightly. She always said her lines on time, which is all you can hope for. You know, it's not like she did anything that was ever going to win this challenge with that role. I love this look, though, on the runway, I gotta say. And I'm usually not the biggest fan of that, like, Alaska style of, like, just throw all the hair up in a crazy thing, unless someone like Alaska does it. I really like it with this. I get the idea of, oh, she's the animal wearing animal skin. This is my human bag. Love it. I think the eyes blinked with like a digital screen, which was wild and so cool. And I thought the walk looks better. I will say these are easier shoes than the last. She was wearing stilettos the last couple of times. Yeah. So
get yourself a chunky heel, girl.
I will be honest. I actually did audition for season 19, and it was mainly because they held that season 17 cast at gunpoint to post audition notices every day. And to the point where I was like, God, y'all really need people. Okay, fine. I'll be funny. And something I have decided is if I go on Drag Race, I will be a Darlene Mitchell. I'm going to be a Ginny Lemon. And I'm going to a Mistress Isabel Brooks. 1 inch or less heels every day. Chunky sandal. Ugly.
Get yourself a stiletto croc, baby. Do it.
If you know you can't walk in heels, don't let that stop you from doing Drag Race. As Discord has shown, anything is possible.
Any walk is possible on the catwalk at RuPaul's Drag Race. Aman, what are your thoughts on Discord?
A piece of me doesn't like the fact that RuPaul sort of like exposed the walk a bit, because I don't want her to edit it. I think it's so. I agree with him in a weird way that it's very iconic. It's very signature, and like, you know, no one wins RuPaul's Drag Race because of their runway walk. Like, this is not America's Next Top Model. We are not supposed to be Naomi Campbell. Is it nice to have a runway walk that is like signature and like beautiful and, you know, cookie cutter? Of course it is. But like
Raja disagrees with everything you just said, but
and that's Raja. Fine. Raja can kick rocks. I'm just saying that, like, we're not watching for the walks, honey. We're watching for the look itself, and we're watching for the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. And I think that Discord definitely has some. I love that
uniqueness.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
She has the nerve to keep walking.
It's so shady.
I gotta say, but the biggest issue is she doesn't have charisma.
Well, it's strange. There is a charisma in her, but I don't know if she knows how to like bring it out on camera. But I think the point Rue's saying is when you look over at us while doing that derpy little walk, that is the charisma seeping out of Discord.
I felt like this was in the challenge. It was the most animated personality we've seen of her, and it was still very muted comparatively. And so I'm worried about her. I think she is already just naturally a more low-key monotone kind of person, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's who you are, that's fine. But if you're on a show that's about entertaining people, you have to be able to kind of learn to mimic or mask or do things that you normally wouldn't do, or figure out how your person interprets being like that, right? And I think that she's on her way to doing that. I think that this was a really good step in that direction, and I genuinely think that RuPaul saying that to her made the walk more fun. And this outfit too actually benefited from a walk like that in a weird way. Like when you have that draping, the fact that her legs seem to be like marching and moving, like I don't know how else to say, it's like the clomping or whatever. It kind of went with the aesthetic of like, bitch, I'm the animal that ate the person. I don't need a graceful walk because I'm a beast. You know,
it's almost as if an animal trying to fit in and be human.
Yes,
that's kind of
which is very avant-garde.
And I want to commend her because it's got to be hard to go on a show that you know that your aesthetic is not one that has necessarily been praised in a long time from the show. I would argue the person who is closest to her aesthetic is someone like a Sharon Needles, and thank God Discord is not like that. I mean, Evie, oddly, yeah, I absolutely like her jelly outfit that she made that one time has like a reminiscent of like the ruffles and such down here. I genuinely think though that she is punk. She is so punk, and I think that RuPaul sees that, and I'm so thankful that instead of just coming at her with like, you got to be doing this and this and this that she normally does, I think RuPaul is being reminded of like, oh yeah, punk and alternate subculture is so important. It's the root of drag, of how we think of it. And so I think that is important. I love that RuPaul is taking that perspective, and I think it's important for all of us to see that. But moving on to our next queen, we have Vita Von Teestar, who was in the bottom 3 this week. She comes out in her zebra outfit. She was quote unquote butch.
Her zebra outfit.
Zebra crossings in the UK. What? I don't know why I said that. Mon, what did you think about Vita Von Teestar this episode?
Not her week. She's not an actress, honey. Everything was delivered with like, I am memorizing the lines, and this is what I'm supposed to say next. Please say your next line so that I can say my next line. Like, it was just very much that.
Aman, that was very like flight attendant giving you the instructions of please put down your mask first before assisting in others. Like,
yes, please put down your mask. I just just not great. But I think the look is fine. I love that it's a zebra in desperation. It's not just zebra. It's a zebra that is actively being slain. I thought that was, that adds to the drama of it. I love that she has like sort of like 2 faces, her face and the hat itself. I think is just such a interesting way to give it more oomph. So yeah, I could see this in like a gay production of The Lion King for sure. But
hell yeah,
in terms of her performance, not good for her. No.
A gay production of The Lion King. Don't you mean The Lion King?
Yeah.
Don't you mean what was it, 2018 motion picture?
Oh, God. So I love her makeup, like her mug right here. Specifically how her eyes and her liner blend into the stripes and how like it goes into the contour. That super pretty. Extremely bothered that her ears and this area in between face and mask are just like just her skin tone, which I was, no, even if she had just like blacked it out or something, like
White.
maybe not, maybe she doesn't have to go stripes everywhere, but something. But it just, that was my only little grievance with this look. And her line deliverings were just wooden. That's all. I think she was a very, very fine bottom 3.
She is interesting to me because I felt like last week the studio really helped her with her delivery of her recorded lines for singing and such. I think that she has presence, and I think she knows exactly how to serve you a look and that kind of thing. She has the dead eye syndrome where like her eyes are not in it. If she's on the runway and such, they're more activated. I can see her being lost a little bit between like, this isn't something I normally put my best forth effort in, but I also know that I'm a bad bitch. And so I can see her trying to fight through that. And after this bottom 3 week, I'm interested to see if this, well-known pageant queen is able to go, okay, that's over. I know what to do now. And we see a fire activated, or if we see her kind of get in her own head. And I hope it's not that, because I truly see that she has everything to go well. She just needs to tap into being, this sounds really like as if she's an alien and she's not, but like she has to tap into the human experience a little bit, like tap into what makes people connect with other people. And she's going to be brilliant. That's what I think with her, at least.
Yeah.
Like next, we have Briar Blush, who was in the bottom 2. I love the outfit on the runway. Some parts of it. I actually don't like the ribbons on the legs. Like, I don't like that at all.
It's hard.
Yeah.
She's really trying to like bring swan and then ballet white swan, but then also elements of the black swan. Like, I understand that the swan's eyes are black, but why are the wings on the side of the mask also black? I feel like it would make more sense if they transitioned to white, like the rest of her feathers.
I didn't love the white swan bias. She said that she has a black swan on her chest, but she preferred to be a white swan because they're like better for whatever reason. So I just find that a little sus. But
also,
I was also like, white swans are bitches. They will just hurt you.
Yeah, they really will.
She was inspired. She loves that about them. Yeah. I also, she said in episode 1 she only wears black hair, and I hate to say it, the second she wore different color hair, I was like, oh man, if she was the black swan, she could have worn the black hair, and it probably would have looked better.
Well, the nice thing is she can never be told that by Michelle if she ever gets in the bottom again.
I think the look is interesting. I don't know if I would. I think the only thing that really gives Swan is the mask, right? Like everything else is kind of like, it could be anything. It's not distinctive enough. I think like if you're gonna do a bird look, we do need more feathers. We do need wings. Like you don't necessarily have to have wings because we got Owl with Athena, right? Like, she didn't have any wings, but like I just think that you need majesty when it comes to being a bird, and I just don't think that she delivered it in that way. In terms of her performance, the Inner Saboteur, it was interesting because she had Athena to play off of, but generally okay. The Weekend Update one, no, I don't know. It just wasn't. I don't know how much of it was the writing, but still, like, I felt like she was actually trying to be a news reporter as opposed to being a Weekend Updater. Like it just,
and she also wasn't doing that well because she was tripping over her words and such with it.
Yeah.
To me, I saw someone who was like desperately trying to make sure she got the line out correctly. And she thought, and it's like she thought, if I do that, that's the same as telling a good joke with good timing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And I think that Briar, unfortunately, got really hyper fixated on wanting to be Athena's little annoyance. And didn't recognize how dangerous this role was. This role was dangerous in this because I'm sorry, the host bit is always the worst part of SNL. We are all
Mhm.
aware of that. So asking to come on as the new character during the host bit, big task. And then to get the thankless role after that of news reporter 2, you better pray to God that someone else bombs or that you do really well. Otherwise, it's just a very thankless writing that she had to deal with. But I don't think Breyer realized that because she wanted to annoy Athena.
The thing that I think is interesting too, and I want to preface this by saying clearly Athena's okay. Okay, people. But
she's fine.
She's fine. But I understand annoying people. I understand the little sibling vibe that sometimes friends have or whatever, where it's like somebody tells you to stop and you keep kind of going a little bit. But I am still not a big fan of when somebody's very clearly, like Athena says, Breyer, I am feeling emotional right now and I need space. Please stop touching me. And she just still stays to be in her. Like, that is not cute or funny. If somebody goes, stop, I can understand if you keep going because it's like that person hasn't, even if they say stop in that moment, I can understand to a certain extent if somebody were to not. I personally don't keep going because I respect when people say stop, even if it sounds like they're joking. But that is not a moment where Athena in the beginning of this episode is like clearly joking. She's clearly in her head and she's trying to get space. And I genuinely think that, especially with Untucked, we hear that this is kind of how a lot of people are viewing Breyer. And that's something you got to be careful of. And I genuinely think this is something that is a good life lesson for everybody to hear, because friends, loved ones, partners, and such do this all the time because we think it's funny. But we also, when we're younger, like Breyer is, and we are learning how to be ourselves while also living up to societal norms and needs, but also saying, these ones don't fit me. It's hard to sometimes know what your boundaries are or how to communicate them in a way. And Athena did it very clearly, and she still did it. Mm-hmm. That to me is very immature at the best. And at worst, that's predatory-esque behavior. And so whether or not you want to say, I'm not saying she's a predator in any way. What I'm saying is that leads to horrible things down the road. So I wanted to just point out that to me didn't sit well.
I feel like the reason Breyer acts this way is probably due to her existing relationships in the Boston scene, which, as we've all been made aware of recently, is a very, like, pretends to be toxic kind of scene, where they're all actively pretending to annoy each other and fight each other all the time.
Yeah.
I think Breyer just didn't read the room because it's not Boston here. This is Pacoima. Sorry about it.
And to be honest, too, Breyer also clearly wants to have some kind of relationship with Athena, right? So there's that moment where, like, Athena's like, and Breyer is kind of like we kind of don't really get, or no, she says that Plain Jane's kind of my daughter or whatever. So clearly there's some kind of connection maybe with Boston and then to Athena and such. So Breyer's clearly trying to get closer to Athena. And I think that this is how she, in her friends and such, act. That's fine. But what I'm just basically trying to say is, like, that's also things that even within your friend groups, people have a hard time bringing up because they don't want to feel like a wet blanket as they're trying to get to know you. So for those who are trying to grow emotional intelligence, when people very clearly say stuff like that, the best thing you can do is stop. And if they go, oh, I didn't mean that you really had to stop, you can keep going, then they give you permission. Okay. But anybody with a brain and a heart could tell that Athena wasn't joking in that situation. So why are you continuing? That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm beating a dead horse with that. Let's move on to Jane Doe, because we have just a couple more left. Jane Doe was in the top 3. She was the mother who was getting interviewed. She was Sierra's mother on Weekend Update and came in with just a really lovely Midwestern accent. Great character, clearly knew what she was doing from the get-go, and she comes on as a macaw inspired outfit, a parrot on the runway. Sugar Free, what did you think of Jane Doe in this episode, as well as this, kind of internal struggle that she's feeling of, like, I don't want girls to dislike me because I'm a strong competitor?
I think Jane is very aware of social dynamics and how they actively play out. This is someone who in another life should be on Big Brother or Survivor, a show where this is actually the point of the game. Because I think Jane would be able to tell every alliance, every relationship very clearly that's what Jane does. Jane is also feeling this guilt at the same time because it's only been 3 weeks and they're the only person to be praised all 3 weeks.
Yep.
And they've watched what happened to Susie last year.
Yeah.
Where it happened to Susie, and because Susie's runways were just and makeup was like a little unpolished, I think that was more why Susie was getting so much heat from the rest of her cast. I do think that Jane has a lot more respect from this cast. And I think age plays into it as well. Susie was quite young to everybody, so they were annoyed, whilst Jane is, again, just a veteran. So I think I understand where Jane's insecurities are coming from, because it's things that have played out on the show that she's watched that she's now a part of right now.
Yeah.
But it's also week 3, and it is kind of funny, just a little bit, that she's so convinced everyone's going to hate her now. It's like, okay.
And I know that we just said all that stuff about Briar, but I do like Briar coming and giving her a pep talk to be like, listen, if you get in the top 3 again, I'll be the first person to congratulate you. Because I do think that Briar was both in Untucked and in the edit has been pretty vocal about being like, oh yeah, clearly the judges like you. And there's this idea, I think, that happens where those kind of comments for people, like I see where Jane is coming from, where those kind of comments I've heard my entire life when I was doing well in things. And I had the privilege to be a big fish in a small pond in my high school. And I remember feeling bad that I was good at things because I wanted other people to have moments. I wanted other people to feel their sense of self as well. But I'm also a competitive bitch and I wanted to be the best I could be too. And I understand that. And my entire life, I've told myself I was egotistical for me to feel that way. And so you have this constant struggle of, I want to encourage myself to continue to do things I'm really good at and push myself to the next level. But I'm so sick of people making comments about it or feeling like they can never, like I'm an obstacle that they can't overcome. And at a certain point, you've got to be the person to go, then overcome me, bitch, because I'm only focused on me. If you want to focus on me, that's your business. And I had to learn that over the course of many, many years. And I think most people go through that with things that you're good at or things that you like. And maybe there's that one person you're just like, oh, that person gets everything. Or maybe you are that person. But I just got to say with Jane, she can back it up. To me, she's my front runner because I see her having the talent of Jinx Monsoon with way better aesthetics and
water
looks
off a duck's back.
Girl,
baby.
and boy, she did that this episode. I mean, what do you think, Aman?
Yeah, no, I relate to what you guys are saying. I think, I think at some point you kind of just have to like let yourself be yourself. And I think that she's so hyper focused on wanting to be approachable and likable, and she doesn't want her own ambition to get in her own way. But at some point, it is what it is. Like, you're in a competition. It's okay to be in a competition. It's okay to have a little bit of hardship. It's okay to not always get along with people. It's okay for people to be jealous. It happens. It happens, baby. Like, that's not a reason for you to shrink yourself. Like, it's not a reason to be unkind. I think that's what she's kind of like having the disconnect. Like, you can still be kind and still slay. You don't have to be full of yourself. You can still slay. That's all that it is.
Look at Sasha Colby. Do you think that she any time thought about another person negatively? Was like, maybe she did, like for like split seconds or whatever, but it never affected her ability to just
like stop trying to control how other people feel about you. It is what it is. You cannot control that. People are who they are. Be who you are.
And you know what? They're entitled to not like you.
Exactly.
So I think if Jane figures out that lesson, it'd be very hard to argue with a Jane win for the season. But I truly think this is the one thing that's holding her back right now.
I agree.
Honestly.
Do you guys...
She did a great job. She did a great job this week. I loved her role as the mom. I thought it It was deliciously confuddling. She was funny. She was great. The look is great. Just, be who you are, Jane. Jane, do, please.
Jane, do not let other people tell you who you are.
Again, she was the only person who completely transformed into somebody else for this challenge and was unrecognizable. I truly thought that this was the closest to SNL we maybe have ever gotten since Susie last year in terms of like an actual primetime worthy run. The skirt to this look, I do not like. And it takes it away from Macaw specifically. Do not understand what these polka dots are doing on this sheer skirt. But the bodice and neck up, perfect. Her makeup, I genuinely want to recreate her eyeshadow. I think it, and there's like yellow in her cheek, and I don't know how it's placed, but I want to get close up. She's very, very smart lady.
I think that she to me is like the next generation Seattle queen.
Yes.
I see her with Irene and Bosco and everything. Like, absolutely understand that they're all related in that scene. There's Seattle. If I see a queen is from Seattle, I have a very, very high bar from them now, because
Magnolia Crawford,
the best of the best. So she's definitely still my runner, or my pick for the crown. Finally, we have Juicy Love Dion, who is our challenge winner. I got to tell you guys that this is one of my all-time favorite looks on the runway.
So good, yeah.
She rounded the corner, and I was like, I don't even want to talk about the challenge, even though I have a lot to say. This turned me. I screamed. It was like literally 11 p.m. when I watched this last night, and I was screaming. I paused. I got out of bed. I checked to make sure my contacts were in correctly. I sat back down. I took a sip of water. I looked at it again. I screamed. I paused. No, I'm just kidding. She is so beautiful. And she knows her body. She knows how she looks. She knows how to present. She knows her face is beat. This is top 5 looks of all time on Drag Race for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At least top 30, probably. There's so many good looks.
I know.
This is easily the best look of the season. Maybe Vita's umbrella look, but again, like, this is just 100% conceptualized and finished in a way that is just so hard to reach. Yeah, we could talk about this look forever. Love the choice of Pangolin. Like, she's very, very smart. Her performance in this challenge, did I think it was a good performance? Yes. Strangely enough, this reminded me, forgive me if I butcher the pronunciation, Marissa Tomei and My Cousin Vinny was literally the exact energy I was getting from her, where I was like, I'm not like, wow, this is laugh out loud funny, but I am so enamored by the charm of this performance that I'm just like, this is better than what I've seen before. Like, this is nice. So when she was announced in the top, I do think that if Mikey and Juicy had flipped runway looks, Mikey would be up here instead. I think the runway catapulted Juicy so far, and the fact that her arc was all about not thinking she'd do well and ended up doing completely serviceably fine. Again, I didn't laugh once during Young Michelle. Don't get me wrong. I didn't think it was funny, but I didn't think it was cringy. I was just like, what a strange piece of theater I'm watching at 11 o'clock at night.
Which, to be fair, that's how I feel about most SNL shows. Yeah. And such now.
They rely on our delirium to really suspend our our criticism and disbelief. Winning this challenge for me was like, okay, interesting. Maybe it's a bit of that they expected her to do worse than what she did, so you're grading her on a curve. Because I just thought that challenge for her was okay. So
I gotta
the
tell
judges
you,
seem to love her. I do think that the look is beautiful. I do think that the tail at the end, it needs a little work. It needs a little bit more sculpting. I think it's a little bit too top heavy, but she looks amazing. The makeup is on point.
oh my God.
And
mug of the season. My
mug,
God.
yeah, mug down.
And we
mug
have
down.
Briar Blush, and we've got other people who have beat faces. This face, oh my, I'm telling you, I genuinely thought that they were going to put Juicy in the bottom in the first half of the acting challenge, because I know I already said this, but she did not say any of Michelle's lines as Michelle. She kept putting the emphasis on the wrong word or on the wrong part of the thing, or it was monotone. She wasn't really giving much, but she was so in that character who is not who we see as Juicy, and she looked so good. She looked so good that as the scene went on, and I was really appreciating the little mannerisms and this, and then what she was doing with her teeth and the gum and like reacting. She was an actress and it was amazing, but it wasn't what the role called for. You're supposed to be doing everything like Michelle, and you're doing nothing like it. So I thought that they were going to put her on the bottom for it. And then she came out in this outfit, and I was like, there's no way you can put her in the bottom. So she's in the top. I was convinced that maybe Darlene would take the win because she did so well in the challenge, but I genuinely thought this is the thing that like you can't deny. I think that they just said, you know what, we were going to read you for it, but it was really good, and this runway's like, how can we not? So here you go, here's the win. Like, I genuinely think that's what's going to happen.
I think it was the ease at which she got into that character, and just how the banter just felt nice and not lived in, because they just met each other, but it felt nice and productive, I guess, for scene partners.
For sure.
But if we're going off of comedy, Jane deserved to win this challenge, hands down. Like, for me at least. But
I'm gonna be honest, the only time I even was tickled with laughter was Darlene. This entire whole thing. I thought that Jane did a really good job, but I thought it was a safe character that if anybody could do a Midwestern accent, there you go. Anybody could do that. Like, I'm not trying to say that Jane's not good. Jane clearly is better than anybody, like the average person. That's what I'm trying to say. But I gotta tell you, I really felt like Darlene had that, and had she just had a heel, I think that they would have done that for her, because at the end of the day, she represented everything that you do to make RuPaul laugh.
Yeah.
But I also am not mad at if Jane won again. That would have been just so funny. Jane wins the third week in a row. Here we go. All right. So that's how everybody did this week from our perspectives. Are there any other moments that we haven't discussed, either from Untucked, which I thought was just kind of pretty bland this week? What did you guys think about Sarah Sherman as a guest judge and someone who came in and kind of helped provide some advice?
I found it interesting.
She was a little shy, I think.
Yes, I think that's what it is. It was shy, because at times it felt like she wasn't that into it, but other times it felt like she was extremely into it. But I think, shyness. At one point, I did watch Sarah freak out a little bit when RuPaul was doing the name bit and just kept listing names of people that weren't in the room. And it just cuts to Sarah, just goes, haha, I don't know any of these people, so I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
All of these names are new to me, so this joke doesn't make sense.
It was just, I feel like because she's still a new cast member, I mean, she's not brand new. She's been on the show for what, 1 or 2 years or so, but she's not, I'm not saying that you have to be like Kate McKinnon level, but I do appreciate that she is somebody who likes drag and likes dressing up and has her own style, that she's been involved with comedy for a long time and that kind of thing. But I just generally felt like and I think it was helpful for her background and such, but I didn't see critiques
See,
that were helpful. I heard
I
advice that was helpful, but not critiques.
I
Yes.
tend to think that maybe they should be a little bit more Kate McKinnon level, like, or to Kenan Thompson, like, get someone who's just a little bit more established in the SNL world, because I do think that while she did give great advice, I do think I can't help but think that when she walked into the room, this is not uncommon for Drag Race people, because they tend to cast a lot of younger queens. Some of those people did not know who she was.
No, maybe
and they were like
Discord and Jane, probably, because they
like,
watched SNL recently.
Yeah, totally.
She is the freshest SNL face to show up in the workroom as of right now. So I
for sure.
But it just felt like she didn't carry the energy I expect Sarah Sherman to have on SNL. I wanted that Sarah Sherman to show up a little bit, the one who's bullying Colin all the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what I think would be interesting, and they'll never do this, and I don't even know if he would ever like this, but it'd be so funny if they got Lorne Michaels to come in and be the judge for one of these RDR Lives.
I'd love that.
Could you imagine? We're like, here's the creator and showrunner for the past 50 years of SNL, Lorne Michaels, and he's going to judge you.
When's the last time Lorne left New York, though? Let's be honest.
I know, seriously. He's going to be like, I don't think so. I was at this party with, so. Anyway, anything else from this episode that we want to discuss?
I do want to point out that I don't like that they have cut out the homage to old SNL with the silly little videos of showing people backstage.
The cast intros.
Yeah.
I just think it makes the whole experience feel more fun and
fair.
Yeah.
I didn't like it, but then at the same time, I liked that we just jumped right into the challenge. So I understand the idea of cutting it for time, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know. It would have helped us jump into the illusion of what we're watching. I wanted to say, I thought that this was one of the best RuPaul performances we've had in a long time.
Sure.
This isn't a new song, right? This is a remix to one of his. I feel like I've heard that song before. Well, hold on. No, I got to stop this. So I have one of his albums downloaded, and I was like, hold on. I know this song, but it sounds different.
One of the audition songs for season 19 was specific because you have to do a RuPaul song, and this was one of the three options. Was the remix to Keys to the Cream Zone?
I think the reason why I liked it so much was because she was allowed to just do a park and bark without having to do the weird shuffles from side to side. She had a microphone right there.
Oh, she's going to park and she's going to bark.
And let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with that. If there's a park and bark queen who can just give stage energy, she's so much better, and you understand the grandness of RuPaul when she can just stand there and sing. When she's been doing that awkward shuffling and the Mariah Carey, now I go over here kind of thing, that has just made us go, oh, she doesn't have it anymore as much as she used to, kind of thing. I mean, because I hate to say it like this, and I love RuPaul, but RuPaul would not win RuPaul's Drag Race.
No, she'd get far.
RuPaul
but she would not.
She'd be.
I would love to see her do a design challenge and make something, because
she'd be pre-snatch game.
Who would she do for Snatch? No, I want to see RuPaul do Snatch Game at some point. Like when Kristen Chenoweth did it. Let's have Michelle ask the questions and then just put Ru on the panel.
That was so wild. Why did they do that in All Stars 3? So random.
I bet she was just around.
Anything else from this episode that we felt like we need to discuss? In that case, I want to thank Sugar Free, aka Adam, so much for joining us on the podcast this week. What do you have going on? Where can people find you? What is there anything that you'd like to, any performances or anything like that you'd like to shout out at this time?
Not really. It's the new year, so I haven't really started booking things yet.
More than fair. Well, if you want to book,
if you want to book Sugar Free, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at sugarfree_queen. I believe that is the same on Blue Sky. Again, thank you guys so much for having me again. This has been so fun. Love Drag Race. Love talking.
Always love talking about drag with you. And if you ever want to hear more of Sugar Free and myself, and you're watching Dragula, know that we covered at least one, maybe 2 seasons of Dragula. I can't even remember together. And I loved having Sugar Free by my side. Aman, where can people find you and what are you up to?
You can find me everywhere at Aman Adwin. I am here every week on the RuPaul's Drag Race recap. And you can also catch me and Matt Ligori over at the Diary Room, where we have been whittling down all of our Big Brother players of North America to determine who is the best Big Brother player of all time. We are very, very close. We are like 3 episodes away from being done with round 1. It has been a year and almost a half.
I was gonna say, it hasn't been like 2 years.
It's coming up on 2 years, but we are just now concluding round 1. And guess what? This summer we're gonna have to add 16 more bitches. So it's gonna be interesting. So yeah, check us out over there if you want to be interested in that process.
Excellent. And you can catch me online on Blue Sky, Beth-Dixon on Blue Sky, or at AugustaWind11 on Instagram, and my Twitch channel as well, twitch.tv/AugustaWind11. I'm thinking I'm going to try to get into a little bit more streaming of sorts this year. Maybe not as consistently as usual, but if you're interested in watching me game and be a little ham, you can do so there. I'm also going to be talking with Mike Bloom about one of the Survivor 50 castmates. We've been dropping these little videos kind of introducing the cast members all together. Just a little overview just to remind you about who each cast member is before Survivor. And I was so thrilled to defend my queen, Tiffany Irvin, who will be on Survivor 50. So I think it's literally the last episode that will drop. I don't know when that will drop. So whenever it does, I will be on that one. Many thanks to the RHAP crew behind the scenes. We would love to encourage you to think about becoming a patron. I know we're halfway through the month, so if you want to wait until February, we understand. You know, it's the holidays. We want to get a couple things going. If you become a patron, you get a whole bunch of different options to join our community online. And patron nights, you have patron exclusive podcasts and the like. Sugar Free, I see that you might have something else to add.
I was going to say, speaking of patrons, I am so excited that Rob as a podcast is coming to LA in March, and I hope to see some of y'all there. That would be fun. I am nobody in this community, but I'm still very excited.
You are not nobody.
Okay.
And we're not saying that just to say it. Come on,
and
now.
Every person in our community is a somebody, and I love that we have somebody like you who gets to come on and chat from your perspectives and such. But yes, we have different events that are happening, and please check those out if you're able to join the RHAP crew for live viewings in LA in March. We'd love to have you there. There's other shows that have also been announced, and you can find all that information on our website, robhasawebsite.com. Thank you to everybody behind the scenes. We look forward to bringing to you another episode next week after episode 4. And until then, we hope that you all stay safe and look out for each other. Thank you. Bye-bye-bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.